Welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I am Stacey Earlywine, and I am loving this weather.
Yeah.
Wow.
I bet you are.
Oh, gosh. Oh, my plants are going insane.
You know what? I haven't even had time to go buy plants. I haven't made time to go buy plants.
Yeah, I will make time for plants. Yeah, my stuff is looking great.
Good.
I worked Jack and Joanna yesterday. Terrible. They took really good naps.
You made them do all your yard work?
Heck yeah, I did.
You slave driver.
only cost me a couple Happy Meals. Can't beat that, can you?
That's pretty cheap.
Oh yeah, every time I see a new, you probably didn't pay attention. We put a new flower bed in yesterday, so
I didn't know.
Tiller out,
but I was at Stacey's yesterday because I took my son there after his baseball practice, and he swam in her pool in April.
Oh my gosh!
It was cold. He said it was cold.
Yeah, because I told with everything so high, I won't let Jim turn the heater on.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you for that. I don't expect you to heat your pool for my children to stop by occasionally. But he was hot. He just got out of ball practice, and he was like, "Let's stop by Stacey's and jump in the pool." And I was like,
"Well, we were.
Are you sure about that?"
We were sitting on the couch, and Jim got up, and he was like, "Somebody's in the pool." And I said, "Yeah, don't you recognize him?" He's like, "It's Silas." And I went, "Yeah." And he said, "And Beth's out there, but not in the pool." He was just like, "What?" You know?
Oh, I wasn't getting in.
No, I wasn't getting in.
I sat and watched, and he wasn't in it very long. I would say 10 to 15 minutes. And that was
just enough to cool off. It was hot yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, if I would have the granddaddy of all hot flashes, I'd have got in, but that hadn't happened yet. So, so I don't know. But yeah, everything's greening up and beautiful. But yeah, yesterday was a weirdly hot day. Did it get up to
I don't know. I kind of felt a little foolish because I was inside all day. I have a home office, so I'm in my own little corner of the world throughout the day, and I am usually cold in the house.
Right.
So I had on jeans and a sweatshirt. It was a lightweight sweatshirt, but I hadn't really left the house until late in the afternoon. I had to run an errand. And I left in my jeans and sweatshirt, and everybody else had shorts and T-shirts. And my neighbor walked over. She had a tank top on and shorts. And I'm like, well, I feel a little overdressed, but I really wasn't that hot.
I can't believe you didn't have a meltdown.
No, I wasn't out there very long. I mean, I just was in and out of the car real quick.
Yeah, we were out in it all day from the time. Oh, yeah, we were out there all day long. But, went to Albert's and got tomato plants, and we planted potatoes and onions yesterday, and tomatoes. And I haven't done any cucumbers aren't ready yet, but yeah, no,
you're on it, man.
No, I had a good day and had that child labor. I wanted to use it.
I don't blame you. I thought you might bring the kids by and feed my chickens. Her grandkids like to come by and feed my chickens. But.
No, when we were up at Valbert's, though, because we had a lot to do yesterday, and so...
Did they have baby chicks in there?
They had baby chicks in there.
Oh, man, the baby chicks are so cute.
They are cute, and Jack and Joanna were just absolutely amazed by those baby chicks, and they just touch them, but because they're going to eventually... Jack and Joanna are going to be able to have chickens. I think they're going to let them have chickens or whatever. Which I can't believe Paige is doing that because she doesn't really care for animals.
Oh, well, chickens are really easy to care for, honestly. And I say that because I have a husband that does 98% of the work. He does it all. I don't really do anything anymore. But no, I mean, even if he wasn't home, I could take care of the chickens. They're easy.
What do you do with them? Just throw stuff?
You just give them food and just... the main thing is they have to have water all the time. You can't let them run out of water. That's all.
Really? So I could raise chickens.
You feed them and water them, and that's it.
And don't forget.
And they give you lots of eggs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Jack thought that was crazy that the eggs were in the refrigerator. He said, Yaya, where did these colorful eggs come from? I said, well, you gave them yesterday. Did these come from Beth Cooper's?
Yeah, well, Jack was at the house, and he went into my coop, fed my chicken some food, and then I let him gather the eggs that day. So as he was gathering the eggs, I took him inside, washed them up, and then put them in a little small carton for him and took him to his house because he had already left. I'm like, well, here are your eggs. You left them at my house, But anyway, hopefully he ate them.
Yeah.
Does he eat eggs?
I think they do eat eggs. I think they will eat eggs, but it's just funny because they only call him They only call you Beth Cooper.
I know. Well, there's a lot of people that do that, and I'm okay with that. So if you're one of those people that can't just say Beth, you just say Beth Cooper, that's okay. I kind of like it. There's like, I have adult friends, and they all do that. They all call me Beth Cooper every time. Like, they can't say it without saying...
They got to say Beth Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, you don't do it, but a lot of people do it, and it's okay. Like, so, I don't know. It just has a nice flow to it. Beth Cooper.
Beth Cooper.
Beth Cooper.
A.K.A. All Great Things Woman, right? I would add that to my name. No, what
All
do
Great Things.
Oh, gosh, what was it? No, I like go by the Hair Goddess.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the Hair Goddess. And that's a good, I like it. It fits you.
Well, that's so funny because, like, when we were at the Nostalgia Theater play and I needed Carissa, I don't know, I lost my phone, so her daughter Carissa, I was like, Carissa called me, and she's like, calling the Hair Goddess?
Yeah, that's how she's entered in Carissa's phone. That's her name.
Yeah, and speaking of the play.
Yes, so we had our nostalgia play, and thank you all so much for coming out to support it because it was a fantastic production.
Yeah.
So thank you to everyone that came and attended, but also thank you to all of those that were in it. I mean, my gosh, we have the most amazing cast and crew.
Oh, yeah, we definitely do have a good crew.
So it was really good.
Yeah.
It went off. It was, I think, our best play ever.
You know what? I'm going to go with it. Probably was one of the best plays we've done too. I think it also helps. That's what the beauty of having the town theater is the fact, because like before when we would do these plays, we would only have to do get into the high school around a week before. So what would happen is we would get in there a week before. We'd be practicing, but then the week before, that's when we get where we come in at, where we're supposed to be out on the stage, and props and all these other things. And it's very difficult. But now with having the theater, we actually practice from the time we start with music, sound, lights, spot, hitting backstage, getting where you need to go. And it is a huge relief. We could have done this play 2 weeks before we ever did it.
Oh, yeah. We would
have
have
been okay. Yeah, we would have been absolutely fine.
Yep. We're professionals.
Yeah, we are.
We should be on Broadway.
Is that our next stop?
Next stop, Broadway.
Okay. Well, okay. You
got an ad?
I do have an ad, and it's kind of it's okay. Sometimes I find I don't even know what magazine this is because the front cover is off.
Oh.
It's a Good Housekeeping magazine. I think I've brought it out before. There are more ads in this house. 1952, right?
Okay.
So this ad is kind of crazy.
Okay.
Because you just don't see mom and daughter underwear ads.
This is a little, what year is this? I'm surprised.
1952.
Holy cow.
Get this. But they're called lollipops.
Bubble does.
Briefly, we love you. Be our Valentine. Lollipops Bubble Duds. Tailored by Globe. Mother-daughter favorites with the famous lollipop cuffing. Neon reinforced. Everybody loves lollipops. The Cloud Soft Cotton Brief with the perfect fit nylon reinforced lollipop cuffing. In fact, everybody loved the lollipop cuffing so much that we put it on Sunday best panties.
Oh.
Bubble Duds, made of Melt AQ, a luxurious lock-stitch rayon tricot that's lovely to wear, lovely to launder. Lollipops of combed cotton come in 10 delectable colors.
Delectable?
That's
an odd adjective, but okay.
Right? It is kind of weird. Bubble Duds of rayon tricot in the 5 pastels. Both make mighty pretty gifts for all ages, all sizes. Makers of quality lingerie, sleepwear, and underwear for all the family since 1897. Globe Knitting Works, Grand Rapids, Michigan. But no, seriously, I mean, I was flipping through this ad, and I'm like, what am I seeing? Am I seeing mother and daughter in their underwear swinging on swings?
Yeah, mother-daughter underwear. Like, who doesn't go out to the swing set with their daughter and swing in their underwear? I mean, really. But I have to say, this... A lot of times when I look at old-fashioned underwear and stuff, it looks really uncomfortable. This one doesn't look too bad. Like, this looks like something I could be...
You think you could wear the lollipops
I could probably wear the lollipops bubble duds and not be too uncomfortable.
Well...
At least it's not a corset or something like that.
Oh my! Do you remember that one ad with that one corset? Oh my gosh!
I don't know those women. And the other day I saw an ad for. It was actually a video showing how pregnant women wore corsets back then, and
Why?
they even wore corsets when they were pregnant. And you just didn't cinch it up as tight, and it was made to be bigger, and it had a bump, but you still wore your corset. Now, anybody that's ever been pregnant, you would think to yourself, how is that even possible? They had to be miserable all day long is all I can say.
Why? What's the purpose of the corset when you're...
Because it's improper if you didn't. I mean,
either way, no matter what.
It was like a social thing. It didn't. I don't think at that point it didn't have anything to do with like shaping her body. It just had to do with
only the finest, fine women wore corsets.
Well, it was like if you didn't have on corsets, then you were like.
I just Googled one.
Yeah, let's pull that up.
Let's see this. Holy, that's a pregnant corset.
Yep, and it had like snaps in the front,
Crack
so
up.
that you could like snap it across your belly, and then the sides kind of tied, so you could kind of tighten it a little bit. But see, it's a lot looser.
Yeah,
and even in the back, like the back of the like where it would go come
right.
Down over
There's
your
a
bottom.
little give right there in the hip. I'm gonna need a whole lot more give than
that. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
I didn't even think about that.
I know. I hadn't thought about it either. It was one of those crazy things that popped up on my news feed, and I was like, what in the world?
Why would you get that popped up on your news feed?
Well, I'll tell you, because I follow a lot of like history things on Facebook, like history pages, and I follow some that are all about clothing.
Okay.
Because of my job with the garments and stuff on Nancy's Notions. But anyway, no. So it was one of those pages that focuses on historical costuming.
Man, there are so many times we watch a movie or something. I'm like, man, I wouldn't have survived that. And Jim's always saying, you would have not known any difference.
Well, and that's another thing. Like those pregnant women in corsets, like maybe they didn't even blink an eye at it because they had never known a day in their life when they didn't wear a corset. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Except when they were little bitty girls.
It's like me and my 1980 stirrup pants.
You
know, that's one thing they do not bring back. Has anybody ever noticed that?
They haven't brought those back.
Stirrup pants were the greatest thing.
Can I tell you something about stirrup pants?
Please do.
That they are not made for tall girls.
Oh.
And I always felt like really, what's the word? Not disappointed, but sort of like offended, I guess, before being offended was like popular.
A thing, but popular.
I was offended that they didn't make them in tall sizes, because if you looped those around your foot, the crotch of those pants was halfway to my knees, and I'm not kidding you. I am not kidding you. I could not wear them. I wanted to wear them because everyone was wearing them.
Because they're super cool.
And they were so cool. All the girls had them on, and I'm like, no, like. Now, if I could have sewn back then, I could have
you could have made your own stirrup pants.
Maybe made them a little differently, but
you could have done
deal.
that.
That's why they haven't came back.
I don't know. Stirrup pants need to come back.
Probably all the people in the department that decides what comes back
are all tall.
Are all tall. And they're like, that ain't
well,
happening.
Speaking of, we got to take our first commercial break, and we will be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and I found sometimes Beth and I we think we have a plan.
And then it kind of
changes because like last night, what time did I message you?
I don't even know.
5, 6. Be like, hey, I found some Bill Oliver, whom I love and adore, and I miss so much. I found one of his articles, and I'm like, I'm going to nix that one show. Do you care? Let's do this.
So we had another show planned for today, but we're just putting that one on the back burner because
we'll
our heart wasn't in it. It was a little dry.
Yeah.
So
I needed some humor. I needed some humor today. So this is from the desk of the hometown editor, Bill Oliver, who I loved and adored.
We did an entire
much.
episode on Bill Oliver once, I believe, at the beginning.
We did.
A year ago.
We've done
so
one on
if you haven't
Bill.
watched that one, you want to know more about Bill, go back and watch that episode. But he was a really, really cool guy, and I used to work for him. Stacey knew him for years, cut his hair. But he was the editor of the Hometown Journal, which is a former newspaper. From Flora. It's man. No longer.
Did you ever one thing? The only bad quality about Bill Oliver, he was such a procrastinator.
He was the most procrastinating person that I have ever met, let alone worked with, and it was a real challenge at the newspaper office to deal with someone like that. I mean, you knew that he always would pull through, and it would all come together at the end. But he would be there all night. He didn't get to work until noon. No. And everyone else would be like biting their fingernails, like worried about what's going to be in the paper, and did this work out? And is this article finished? Is this article finished? And and he's just like breezes in with like a cigarette in his hand, is like, it's fine, I'll finish it at 5. I'll be done. You guys go on home. We would leave at like 5 p.m. and then just hope that he finished it through the night, and he would stay up
all night
long and finish everything. But
he was a night owl.
Yes, he was a night owl, and he waited until the last minute to do everything.
Oh, gosh. So I'm going to read this. This is like, yes, I'm from a small town. Want to make something of it.
Okay.
So basically, I'm going to read through what made him write this column. Then I'm going to read you, because, everybody that's probably listening to this watches our show. Chances are 90% of them are from small towns.
Yeah.
So I think you'll enjoy it. Excuse me. Here's what he writes. A few years ago, I was on the telephone ordering one of those Ronco products that I just couldn't live without. And the operator asked me where I lived. Florida, I replied. What part of Florida? She inquired. He said, what part of Florida? She inquired. Time and again, I have run into people who think I live in Florida instead of Florida, which let's just pause right there.
It happens to us all.
Does that
it?
not happen?
All the time.
All the time.
Yep.
It's almost like, this is the other thing that drives me bonkers. The other thing. Oh, where are you from? Illinois. Oh, Chicago? No.
Yeah.
No, 4 hours south, baby.
Did you see that thing on Facebook the other day, and it said it took a total eclipse for people in Chicago to realize that there's more of their state than Chicago? Because so many people from Chicago came down here for the eclipse, and I was kind of disappointed at that. I was really hoping they would never notice us.
Right, yeah.
I don't want them to all move down here and fall in love with us.
Well, I got to tell you a funny story about this. Whenever I was working for Paul Mitchell, and I worked for him for 10 years, and so we would go to Chicago to educate, right? And, what's this piece of hair doing? Let's do that. That made it better, didn't it? Okay.
You got to fly away.
I got to fly away. Everybody ignore it. And so anyway, I'm not lying to you guys one bit. So I was like a lot of the there was like 7 of us from downstate, and the other ones were all from up Chicago. There were like 25 of us. So they had no clue. Like whenever we were done on a Monday afternoon at 5 o'clock, we still had like a 3-4 hour 5-hour drive to get home, Anyway, this one girl was talking to me. Her name was Amber Trecconi. She looked like she would be some mob boss's girlfriend.
Okay.
Beautiful girl, skinny blonde,
I hope that she's not watching and just heard that and is like going to come after you now.
I loved Amber. Amber was one of those type people that whenever I was lost in Chicago, Amber, where am I at? You need to turn here, turn here, turn here. She knew exactly. She knew that city like the back of her hand. She was a beautiful girl. And anyway, we were going, and I was talking. I said, "Yeah, I'm going to bug out. It's going to take me a while." And she was like, "Well, how far? What are you going? Kankakee?" No, sweetheart. I live in Flora. Flora. I've never heard of Flora. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, I live in Flora. And she's like, so a little bit farther than Kankakee. A little bit farther than Kankakee, yeah. And she's like, oh, okay. Oh, gosh, what's way down there? Oh, Champaign.
Uh-huh.
Well, honey, 2 more hours south of Champaign. And I said, and Amber, there's this craziest thing. Even when you get 2 more hours past Champaign, there's 3 more hours past that. And she was like, had no clue. She literally thought when I said Southern Illinois, I meant Kankakee.
Isn't that something? That just
it cracks me
blows my mind.
It does.
I had a similar, I know we're way off topic, but I had a similar experience in St. Louis.
Isn't that what we do?
One time I went to an appointment all the way out in West County in St. Louis, and I got there and realized, and they told me, oh gosh, your appointment is tomorrow. Not today. I was a whole day early for my appointment. And so the people were really nice, and the doctor went ahead and saw me. But in the elevator on the way down, I was telling this lady that was in the elevator with us that what had happened. And she said, oh, honey, I understand. She said, the same thing happened to me one day. I drove all the way in from the city, and I was a day off from my appointment. She drove in from downtown St. Louis to West City, and she was trying to tell me how far away she came all the way in from the city. And I'm like, I drove 2.5 hours to be here. She was like, she couldn't even fathom it. She couldn't even register it.
Yeah, it is funny. Well, like when I bought my convertible back, gosh, I don't even know when I turned 40, so 17 years ago. And anyway, so I bought it in St. Clair. So I bought it, I ordered it, blah, 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 blah. And then, so that guy was so I didn't have to come to St. Clair. He was going to meet me in Carlisle. So a gentleman was going to come from St. Clair, O'Fallon, to Carlisle. I was coming from Florida to Carlisle. We met up like at that, that KFC hash Long John Silver's restaurant right there. We met there. He pulled in there and he said, my God, I didn't think I was ever going to get here. This is the farthest away I've ever.
Yeah.
He was from St. Clair.
I know. I'm not surprised. So when Silas was in the NICU in St. Louis, this is a good one. This is a good one. I got to tell this one. I had a nurse, super nice nurse that was taking care of Silas. And she said, oh, you guys are from Illinois? And I was like, yes. Yeah. And she's like, oh, gosh. She's like, my husband takes the boat to a marina over there every year to get store the boat for the winter. She said it's way over there, and it's called Cope Marina, I think is the name of it. I'm like, well, that sounds familiar. And I'm like, it's not the one in Effingham. She's like, oh, it's way over there. She said, you may not even know where this one is. And I was like, okay. And then a few months later, we were driving through Fairview Heights. That's where her marina was, in Fairview Heights. So she had to basically cross the river to store the boat.
Forever far away.
Way over in Illinois, from St. Louis to Fairview Heights.
She was insane.
I was like, okay, that's crazy. Anyway.
I do think that's the beauty of small town people, and that's that's what Bill's kind of touching on, because at least we leave our small town, and I feel like we can survive in small town. I could survive in a big city. I don't think big city people can survive in a small town.
And driving doesn't faze us. No, I don't think the big city people could survive. Anyway, let's get on with our story.
Anyway, here we go. Okay, I must admit that as I look out the window and see more falling snow, the thought of living in the land of the dimpled Chad sounds appealing. Only Bill could write this stuff. I explained to the telephone lady that I lived in Flora, a small community in Illinois. Oh, she said. Well, we ship our products UPS. Does UPS drive out to your part of the country? As a matter of fact, it does, I said. It does? She asked, as if surprised that the boys in the brown trucks had ever heard of our little town. Sure, I said. In fact, last week, we got a touch-tone phone. And we all have been going to the bathroom indoors for years. We are a real booming place out here in the boonies. It's funny how big city folks have such misconceptions about towns with populations under 100,000. True, there are some disadvantages to living in a hamlet. You can't always find the products you're looking for, and about the only culture you'll find is a throat culture. However, the advantages far outweigh the negatives. You can get in the car and drive to work in 5 minutes. Yes, praise Jesus. I love that. And the only traffic snarl you'll encounter is maybe getting a red light at the four-way stop. Yes, I'm from a small town and proud of it. In fact, I know I'm from a small town because of all the following are true. You know you are from a small town if you can name everyone you graduated with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See? Bonus. I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
My mother-in-law, Virginia, graduated in, she lived in Chicago, in the city in Chicago, and she and I were talking, and she didn't even, I think there were like 2,000, 3,000 kids in her graduating class. She's like, I don't even know any of them.
Oh.
So they don't do reunions or anything. You know what 4-H is?
Oh, yeah.
You ever went to parties at a pasture barn or in the middle of a dirt road?
Been there.
Yeah, it's so funny. We had a conversation about proms. You know, now there's post-proms and everything. And we were like, well, let me tell you what we did after prom. Oh, gosh. You used to drag Maine and still do. That's a good one.
Nobody does that anymore. Like
Wonder
kids,
why?
I don't know, because they're all just sitting at home smoking their little vaping pins. I don't know.
They're vaping pipes.
Yeah.
Vaping what are those things called?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't vape.
I don't vape either, but that's what they do. And they have their social media, so they don't need to go downtown to see their friends. They just text them.
That's true. You said the F word and your parents knew within 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a great one. You can't get away with anything. It's time to take another commercial break already.
Okay.
This show is going to go so fast.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank.
We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew. For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating. So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I'm Stacey Earlywine, and we are going over Bill Oliver's very funny article. Yes, I'm from a small town. Want to make something of it?
Yeah.
We're going through. So
It's
these are
also
things,
true.
These are things you'll recognize from all of us living in a small
It's
town.
almost like Jeff Foxworthy's You Might Be a Redneck If.
Oh my gosh,
But
it
this is You Might Be from a Small Town If.
You're right.
I bet Bill was channeling his inner
I bet he was
Jeff
too.
Foxworthy.
I bet he was too.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. I love this one. You scheduled parties around the schedule of different police officers since you knew which ones would bust you and which ones wouldn't.
Oh, that's good. I don't know that I ever did that for anything. But
Now, here's what I know. You ever went cow tipping or snipe hunting? I'm not even sure
Okay.
what cow tipping is.
Okay.
You're like going to really push a cow over?
Yeah, I've never done it, but yeah, cows when when it's the middle of the night and they're sleeping, standing up. I guess you can run up to one, but you have to be fast, and then you knock it over.
You lost me. You have to be fast. Even in my younger days.
I have never done that, nor have I ever been with people who did it. But I mean, I knew the term.
What's snipe hunting?
Snipe hunting is when you take out somebody that's sort of naive, and you're like, "Do you want to go snipe hunting?" And they're like, "What is it?" And they're like, "Oh, it's super fun. Like, there's a snipe that runs around. It's a really, I think it's like supposed to be a bird. It's really hard to find, but it runs around on the ground, and you send them basically you send them off on a wild goose chase.
Oh, okay.
There's no such thing.
Okay. I didn't know about that one. The biggest excitement is when the fire whistle blows. I'm 56 years old and still get excited on the Tuesday noon whistle. I love hearing whistles in town. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I wish they would bring back the noon whistle.
I want the noon whistle. I know this means fire whistle, but
I want them to do it when there's a fire too. I need the whistle back in my life.
I want the whistle too.
The younger people don't even know what we're talking about because it's been gone so long, and it's
now,
travesty.
Abby, we have a new girl that's in the studio with us. Abby, do you remember? Well, how old are you? You're 20, so you've never heard the beautiful noon whistle. They say every day at noon, like they'll go, woo, like the big siren would go off to let everybody know it's 12 o'clock and time to eat. No,
she's never heard of it, folks.
It's time to bring it back.
Sadness, bringing it back.
Schools gets canceled for deer season.
Yeah, growing up, I was out of school every deer day. It was the first Friday of the first deer season. They closed school down, but that was in Harrisburg, not Flora. But we always had deer day.
Flora has deer day too, don't we?
No, Clay City does it, and I think Louisville does it, but not Flora anymore.
Flora doesn't have deer day?
No, but if you take a note in with a copy of your deer tag, you can get excused for it, which is a little bit, I don't like the way they do it, and I'll tell you why. Is because my kids want to go deer hunting with their dad, but they're not comfortable enough to have their own tag. So Jason takes them. They sit with him and watch and shoot, but he's the one that shoots.
Oh, okay.
So the deer tag is in his name.
You would confuse the whole system.
And of course I would, because that's how I roll. They don't accept that as an excuse because it was in his name. So a shout out to Joel Hackney on that. I think that's stupid.
You're the only parent I know.
That has to make it difficult? No, that's my middle name. My middle name is Beth Difficult Cooper.
Danielle Beth Difficult Cooper.
Yeah, that's my name.
Oh, that's why I love you. Okay, where am I at now? Yeah, that one threw me off a little bit.
Deer Day. We had Deer Day.
Yeah,
Mom and I called it Shopping Day. We would go to Marion and Carbondale and go shopping for the day.
Oh, you could never buy cigarettes because of all the store clerks knew you weren't old enough, and even if you were, they would still tell your parents. I love the fact that you just can't get away with anything. If parents want to know what's happening with their kids, you can find out. It's pretty simple. When you did find someone old enough to buy your cigarettes, you still had to go out to the country and drive on back roads to smoke them. You were ever in the homecoming parade? Yeah.
We were always in the homecoming parade.
I wonder if every kid gets to experience that. Parades.
In the world? No. Those city kids don't know.
Yeah. Because being in a parade's fun. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
But it is fun.
I don't remember being exhausted when I was a kid doing it, but...
It was cool to date someone from a neighboring town.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be like, who are you dating? He's from Clay City. He's from Louisville.
You're dating one of the Clay City boys? Whoa.
Oh, whoa. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. You had a senior skip day. We had that. Did you have senior skip day?
I don't remember. I was probably gone anyway. I skipped all the time.
Were you one of those?
Oh, my gosh. I was hardly ever there.
Beth!
I can't help it. I hated it.
You didn't love school?
Mm-mm.
You don't. See, I loved school. I loved high school. It was great.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. If something good was going on Young and the Restless that day, I just wrote my own note and signed my mom's name.
Yes, I wrote.
I did that a lot.
I wrote my mom's notes starting from the first day of my freshman year. That way, they would never at any point actually know her real signature.
Yeah, well, that's crafty.
Mm-hmm.
That's crafty. Yeah, I did. Like, if something was good happened on Young and the Restless, I'd skip. Or like the day Luke and Laura got married on General Hospital, I totally skipped because I had to prepare for the wedding.
Yeah, you had to be there.
I did that too. What funniest thing? One time, Connor was crafty. My son Connor, and I caught him. He was sitting at the dinner table one time, and man, he's never this good. And he's sitting there, and oh man, he's just like this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's doing his homework. What a good boy.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. He was copying my signature.
Oh.
He was perfecting my signature.
Well,
yeah.
Good.
That one hair just won't stay down today.
No, it's a little wild, but I like it.
Well, I had the windows down.
It gives you a whole little, like, wild chick kind of vibe.
I have a wildness happening. Okay. The entire school went to the same party after graduation.
Yes.
Yeah, back in the day, we didn't do all these things.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen. You don't give directions by street names, but by reference. Turn by Joe's house, go 2 blocks east of Anderson, and it's the 4th house left of the football field.
I can do it that way. I usually use directions, though, north, south, east, and west.
I used to not, but whenever we were driving to Florida all the time, if they ever tore down a certain Piggly Wiggly, I'd turn the wrong way.
Oh.
I'm a direction.
There are some
I know
towns,
my directions, but I like to have landmarks too. That's that.
On my way to Decatur, there's like a CVS that I turn by, and it's like if they ever tear that CVS down, I'll not know that road.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh. The country club golf course had only 9 holes, 10 if there were moles. Uh-oh. You can't help but date a friend's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was not enough people to not let that happen.
Oh, that's girl code. I'd stay away from, I don't know. I would never date a friend's boyfriend.
Well, maybe not if they were, like, serious.
Yeah.
But if it was just a fling and you had their permission, it was okay.
Mm-hmm. This is so weird, but my mind's going in 1,000 different directions today. Do you ever like? I can't believe I'm going to say this, but you ever like okay, like Jason, if I die, you have permission to marry so and so.
Oh yeah, we've talked. No, I always say, if I die, you are not to marry anybody, and you are to stay single because when we all get to heaven. Like, we have a mansion, I don't really want to be in the same place with her. I don't know. That's how I felt when I was younger. I have to say, though, that I'll put it on the record that I've matured, and I don't really care who he marries.
Really? Yeah, I've told Jim if he ever brings another woman in my house, I'll haunt him.
Yes. Yeah, they should definitely get a different house if they're going to...
I don't know. I just always thought that's just weird conversations. Yeah. If you have that, and honestly, as married couples, you really shouldn't have those conversations because be like, Jim, if I die, would you remarried? Yeah, probably. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Well,
what do you mean you
just
remarried?
An observation, but I feel like most men, if their spouse dies first, they do get remarried, and a lot of them get remarried really quick because men do not like to be alone.
No, they don't.
Now, if something were to happen to Jason, I can honestly say to you, if I had a Bible here, I would swear on it, I would never get remarried. Not because it's not good, but just because I think I would be okay with being alone. Mm-hmm. I mean, our marriage is great, but also the idea of, like, being with somebody else and like start dating. I mean, the dating pool is terrible.
Yeah.
I just don't want to go down that road.
It took me 35 years to train Jim. I ain't got another 35 in me.
I'm
out.
I would never want to date.
I always joke too. Like if something happened to me, Wynn will be knocking down the doors to get Jim because he's kind of like a pretty hunter. I'd hate to say he's a perfect husband, but he's darn close, you know?
Right.
But me and Jim, and I'm always like going, yeah, if something happens to you, they'll be like, oh God, Stacey's on the market. She's a handful. You take her. I hear she's needy. You take her. She's a little baby. She's a diva. You take her. Nobody probably want me. They'd be like, oh yeah, she's a handful. Nobody can handle her.
I just can't even imagine like dating.
I can't either.
Like it's just so crazy out there. No, thank you. I'll just stay single.
Okay, see, we're just chasing rabbits all over
Yep.
the place. Okay, your car stays filthy because of the dirt roads, and you will never own a dark vehicle for that reason.
Okay, a lot of people do think that way. I actually have a black car right now.
You do have a black car, yeah. Yeah. I've had one black car, and it did drive me crazy because it was dirty all the time. I didn't like it. You think kids that ride skateboards are weird? I wonder what year he wrote this.
I don't know. This is probably in the 90s, early 2000s, like the whole skater boy era.
Just started coming.
Where they were kind of the strange kids.
The town next to you is considered trashy or snooty, but it is actually just like your town. I break Clay County down like that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm always breaking Clay County down. Louisville people are like this. Clay City people are like this. Florida people, well, we're perfect. Now, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're considered a Louisville girl.
Yeah.
Did you ever break down the towns?
Yeah, so like whenever I was in high school, and I don't know if it's still like this, but like the North Clay girls were hated by the Flora girls. The Flora girls hated the North Clay girls. And I honestly never hated the Flora girls, but I think that they thought I did because it was like this, I don't know, like a, what do you call that when you have like an ongoing rivalry? Yeah, and I never quite understood what we were rivaling over.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's so weird. It is kind of weird, though.
Those Flora girls.
Well, one
hated
of my
us.
best friends is Chris Roopsum, Chris Byers Roopsum, and we didn't meet till we went to OCC, and she's literally one of my favorite. We don't get together much, but when we do, it's like we haven't even skipped a beat. But yeah, Chris, I'd give anything if Chris and I would have known each other back in high school. But I didn't even think about. Of course, I knew
being
Clay
friends
City
with the North Clay
no,
girl.
I didn't. No, because I didn't know anybody in Louisville. But now Clay City, with my grandparents being over there, I knew a lot of kids from Clay City. We kind of all ran around together, but I didn't. Yeah, I'd give anything if me and old Chris. Of course, it might have. Me and Chris meeting in high school could have been disastrous.
That could have been trouble.
Because we were pretty. Well, I'm just not even going to talk about that.
Don't tattle on yourself.
I'm not even going to talk about that.
Yourself.
Getting paid minimum wage is considered a raise. That could be controversial today, couldn't it? Oh my gosh, I think it's time. I'm not even for sure when we started this show. I think it's time for another commercial break.
Okay, we'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
Give me all your lumber. Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh yeah, give me all your guns too.
John Lucas,
What?
you better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we are discussing a wonderful article from Bill Oliver that was the editor for the Hometown Journal back when that was a newspaper in Clay County. And we're talking about what it's like to live in a small town.
That's right.
So let's keep going.
Let's keep going because I want to get through all these. I'm trying to figure out my time here. I think we got. You referred to anyone with a house newer than 1970 as rich people.
Oh. Well, this was probably written in the late 90s.
Probably.
So, but yeah.
You think people in the city dress funny, then you pick up the trend 2 years later.
Well, that's the truth. Let's talk about that. I mean, things start in the city. It takes a little bit for it to roll around to get here, like new styles and
I
stuff.
think you're right.
Yeah. That's okay.
You brag to your friend because you got pipes on your truck for your birthday. That is true.
I know boys that did that.
Oh my gosh, that is so true.
And the older I get, the more annoyed I am by that.
Yeah.
Boys with loud trucks.
I think the older I get, the more annoyed I am just about everything.
About everything. Well, loud trucks is at the top of my list. They don't impress me much.
No.
They'll drive through town and like go by Dairy Queen and be like, "Rawr." I'm like, oh my gosh, stop it. Please.
But even what my favorite thing, this was a trend back in Florida back in the 80s. And so like you're there with your boyfriend or whatever in a hot rod and they go like this, then they'd spin their tires.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And everybody just thought that was the greatest thing in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I remember thinking, even as a 15, 16-year-old girl, thinking, man, you're an idiot.
Uh-huh. Tires are expensive, man.
Tires are expensive. That's right. Anyone you want can be found at either the Dairy Queen or Nat Mart.
I was just talking about the Dairy Queen and how we all gather there.
We all gathered there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, back in my day, it was the Hub. Well,
yeah.
I guess it's not the Hub anymore.
Then it became the Qantas building. And
back in the day, you'd go to the Hub, turn around, go all the way to Big John's.
Yeah, that's
AKA
where we turned
IGA.
around to. But there were still always people sitting at Dairy Queen.
Always Dairy Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Dairy Queen and those places. Football coaches suggest that you haul hay for the summer to get stronger.
Mm.
Directions are given using the stoplight as a reference. I get that. The city council meets at the coffee shop.
Let's hear it.
Even ugly people enter beauty pageants. Oh, Bill.
Oh, well.
Okay. Oh, my. You decide to walk and 5 people pull over and ask if you need a ride.
Oh, well, that's true.
I did that the other day to a lady after I left church.
Oh.
It was really, really windy, and she was walking, and she had a baby, and she had it covered up, so I went around the block. I'm like, excuse me, do you need a ride? She's like, no, baby's just upset, trying to calm her down. I'm like, okay.
Well, it's the thought that counts.
That's right. Because I'm thinking, what if that's Jesus? And I just walk by and think, oh, there's that poor girl with that baby. Do you ever stop and think about that?
No.
No, okay.
But I will now.
Oh, my God.
Okay, let's keep going.
Remember you talk about those vapes? It's almost like you and I have been smoking something in a vape this morning.
Yeah, well, I haven't.
I haven't either, but it's just my mind, I guess.
And I will add, not all kids do the vaping, but I will say a lot of them do. It shocks me how many kids do it.
Because your kids at home are going, thanks, Mom.
Yeah, well.
Your teachers call you by your older sibling's name. Now, that happened to me a lot.
Yes, so that's happening, I think, to Carissa now at the high school.
Your teachers remember when they taught your parents. I had a teacher that was old enough. She didn't teach my parents, but knew like a lot of my older uncles and stuff. You can charge at the local stores. Yes. I used to do that all the time. I would go to Dickey's and get gas and be like, charge it. Put it on, Mom. And at Andy's Market. I would go to Andy's Market and I would just charge it. Boy, those days are gone, aren't they?
Those days are gone. I don't really remember much of that.
No, I would do. I remember doing
charging it
Dickies
anyway.
and that, and then when I would go get Lynn Miller did my hair, I'd go and Lynn do my hair, and she'd be like, "Oh, your mom will pick it up," which that still happens sometimes at the shop, but whatever.
Oh, you can charge things at your shop?
No, you can't because you can't be trusted. No, and cutting up, we're a cash check or charge or a
what does DiMaggio's always say? Cash or local check only,
local
please.
checks only. It is normal to see an old man riding through town on a riding lawnmower. Boy, some things just don't change.
Some things do not change. That still happens.
There are a few that do that, don't they?
The George Joneses of the town. You know the story about George Jones, right?
No.
You know George Jones,
I don't know him personally, but
you know who I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
Well, he got a DUI in like the 80s? In the 80s, I think. I don't know. Ty could Google it. And I think he was on a John Deere tractor I don't remember the story. I think he was on a John Deere tractor because he was already told he wasn't supposed to be driving his truck or whatever. Because he was
did he write a country song about it?
Nope. I don't think. But it's in other country songs, like Swerving Like I'm George Jones, like by Laid Back on the Country Road, Swerving Like I'm George Jones by what's his name? Anyway, it's a country song that's 5 or 6 years old now. But yeah. So it's people, not all, I won't say all of them that are doing that, but sometimes it's people that have a DUI that can't have a driver's license, but they can drive their lawnmower to the store.
Interesting.
You don't know that? You didn't know that? Like when you see them on their lawnmowers, so it's just probably DUI people?
Nope, didn't have a clue. I just thought they were cruising.
I don't know.
I don't know. Now that I think about who they are, yeah, probably. After you explain that it's too small, the lady at the dress shop accepts the return of your prom dress on Monday following Saturday's prom. That's funny. That would never happen.
No.
Spending 8 hours behind the wheel of the pickup truck that says City of on the side is the best paying job in town. That's kind of interesting.
Say that one again.
That's I don't. Spending 8 hours behind the wheel of the pickup truck that says "City of" on the other side is the best paying job in town. Basically, working for the city.
Yeah. So he's saying the city workers do nothing but drive around all day, and they're the best paying job in town.
That's right. Your neighbors know you have company before you do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know how to vote. Mm-hmm. Which is good. We know how to do that. You dial a wrong number and still spend 15 minutes talking on the phone.
Yes, I've done that. Yes. Well, actually, one of the numbers I frequently misdial is between Cutting Up Hair Salon and the First Christian Church. They're 1 digit off.
Yeah.
And so if I call the wrong one, I still talk to whoever answers the phone.
To whoever it is. The Monday menu at all restaurants in town is ham and beans.
Mm-hmm.
You get worried if your neighbors are not home by 11 p.m. That's funny.
I'm usually in bed. I don't know if they're home or not.
Even the people you don't like are there to give you aid during tough times. That's the one thing I love about a small town.
Yes, so you're going through a hard time, everyone shows up.
Everybody shows up. That's one thing that I do think that happens. Yep. And then at the very ending, Bill ends up here, says, be proud of your roots. And we sure are, or we wouldn't be doing this show.
That's right. We love our local area
county.
And we love the history.
We do. It. Yeah, that's a fun article. I figured you'd enjoy that.
I do like that one. And I am proud to be from a small town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably lots of country. So I don't listen to country music, but there's probably lots of songs about, I was born in a small town. Mm-hmm. Little John Cougar this morning.
Uh-huh.
Heck yeah, I love that song. Yeah. But I thought that'd be fun. The one thing, there's a couple things that stick out to me. First of all, the noon whistle.
Mm-hmm.
I love the noon whistle.
Uh-huh.
And of course, dragging Maine. But the other one is the way, I hate to say it, but we spend a lot of time in the Lost 40. Mm-hmm. The Lost 40 or the Big Red Barn. The kids got together, and it's just like those 80s movies that you see. Mm-hmm. We're all just together. It's a bonfire, and everybody's just standing around drinking.
I don't talk about those days very much because I have a lot of kids that might be listening. So I don't know what you're talking about.
That's so funny. It is, though. I'm an open book. My boys know. Because I was a do as I say, not as I did.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm like, here's the mistakes that I made. Don't do them because you're stupid. Don't be stupid like your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we had so much fun back in the day.
Yes,
I loved school. I loved high school. My classmates, loved my classmates. Look forward.
You're probably one of those people that's like, if I could go back, I would.
I would go. I loved high school.
Oh no,
we had a good time.
Those people, I don't understand that. I would never.
Well,
I
my
would
class
never in a million years go back to high school.
Really,
no,
I graduated in 1985, and the class of '85 was a very even to this day is very close. Mm-hmm. There were no. You had like your jocks and your band nerds, and you had your special needs kids. You had your pretty girls. You had your cheerleaders. You had your partiers. You had your pot smokers. But what I loved about it was the fact that like we never. You would see your jocks with your pot smokers and your pot smokers with your band nerds. Mm-hmm. Everybody stayed in their groups, but yet we were all very close. Mm-hmm. I can honestly say that in my class there was not what I would call mean girl or anybody that was.
It was just all
very
rainbows and butterflies.
Yeah, and you could literally ask anybody from the class of 1985, and they'll say we're probably one of the closest classes that's ever gone through the high school.
That's great.
Still on Facebook, we're all chit-chatty on Facebook. Our class
I still talk. I mean, on Facebook, I still talk. It's not like I hate anyone from my school. I just mundaneness and the just getting up every day and having to go
I
boring
didn't
classes
like,
and
I didn't like
no
going.
thanks.
Well, I didn't like studying. Do you think I studied at school?
I think being an adult is so much better than being in high school. And people would say, these are the best years of your life. Enjoy them. And I'm like, if these are the best years of my life is going to suck. Like, no. And let me tell you, they were not the best years of my life. No. My life only improved after that.
I think I love every stage that I've ever been in. It's like, even like when the boys were little, I loved that. Then they were junior hires. They're so weird, but that was super cool. And then, this, and then Connor and Matt going to college. And I'm telling you what, there ain't nothing like empty nest, man. This is the time because you have money. They don't suck the money out of you,
Yeah, I'm looking
and then you
forward
have
to that
grandchildren.
part.
This grandkid gig. Oh yeah, right now, if time could stop, this would be where I'd do it because it's a blast.
That's cool.
It is a blast. Empty nest. Don't be afraid of empty nest. It's awesome. And I was just as close to. I love my children just as much as anybody else does. And but it every and to see your children. There's nothing better than seeing your grown children thrive and be good, decent human beings. And both my boys are.
That's good.
Yeah, they do. And then these grandkids, well, of course, I tell you all the time.
I know they're the most wonderful, special.
Don't forget beautiful.
Beautiful, smartest, most sweet children that you would ever meet in your entire life.
That's right.
They are really cute.
They are cute. Well, when I went to I went to see Jack this morning and sit with JoJo for just a bit before I came here today, and she was still in her room, and Paige went in there, and I was talking to Jack, and she's like, y'all here? Y'all here? And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the best. Oh yeah, I could go on for days. Anyway.
Okay, let's end the show with a quote.
Okay.
What you got?
Wayne Dyer. Never heard of Wayne Dyer. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Well, yeah. Say it again.
When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I think that's kind of like, like if you're constantly a pessimist.
Yep.
If you're a Debbie Downer, everything you look at, this is going to be, oh, man, that's pretty, but this is just not green enough. Or you look at it and say, man, that's a beautiful green color. I don't know. I think perception's everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So some people, though, just are always going to be miserable.
I choose happiness.
I choose happiness every day. So
even if I'm in a bad mood, I can fake it. I can fake it till I'm,
fake it till you make it.
I can fake it till I make it. Of course, there's only a handful of people that ever see me. She's one of them because I'll be like.
It doesn't happen very often though, and usually if it does, you have a very good reason.
That's true. That's true. That's it. That was fun.
That was a fun show. So we miss Bill Oliver so much. He was a great guy. But,
he was a great guy.
Anyway.
And that's not going to be the last you hear of us talk. I've got a ton of his articles.
Yeah, good.
I'll be bringing them up and just reading some of his articles. They're hysterical. He was great.
So you can like and follow us on Facebook, By the Way, with Beth and Stacey. We are on Wabash Catch TV, Channel 100, daily at 11 a.m. New episodes on Thursdays and Fridays. And all of our episodes are on YouTube. In case you missed one, you can go check it out there. And I think that's it. So
I think that's it.
Until next time, thank you for watching.
God bless you and have a great day.